I thought I was being loyal, the reliable one, the calm, competent woman who holds everything together while everyone else conveniently falls apart. But listen, my friend's life has a twisted sense of humor when you confuse kindness with obligation. Because while one woman was juggling deadlines, cold coffee, and permanent dark circles under her eyes, another was juggling wine glasses, sunsets, and Mediterranean views. And no, that is not a metaphor, sadly. So come closer, grab a chair, pour yourself a coffee or something stronger. I'm not judging, and stay with me, because this story is way too unhinged to experience alone. Welcome to Lying Whispers, where secrets don't scream, they smirk. And if you enjoy elegant betrayal, soft-spoken manipulation, and people who play the victim while living like the villain, oh my friends, you're home. Hit like, subscribe, send this to that friend who always steps up at work, and stay until the end, because the emotional whiplash is slow and intentional. Our protagonist, let's call her Claire, worked in finance. Not the glamorous movie version. A boutique firm. Small enough that everyone knows everything and polished enough that mistakes are remembered forever. Claire was second in command. The fixer. The brain behind the common mails and impossible deadlines. The woman who said, I've got it more times than she should have. Her boss, well, name her Elena, was magnetic, smart, charming. The kind of woman who walks into a room and suddenly everyone sits straighter. They were close, or at least Claire thought they were. When Elena announced her pregnancy, the office celebrated, smiles, warm messages, support. But there was history. Her first pregnancy had been complicated, scary, so this time, Claire didn't just become a colleague. She became emotional support, professional backup, the safety net. Rest, he'll handle it. Don't worry. No one forced her. She volunteered. Because Claire was one of those women who mistakes empathy for self-erasure. Classic mistake. Dangerous one. During maternity leave, Claire took over everything: meetings, clients, decisions, fires that needed putting out yesterday. The team respected her, relied on her, and honestly, the company ran smoothly. When the leave officially ended, Elena sent a gentle message: I'll keep working from home for a while. Still adjusting, of course. Who would question that without looking heartless? So Claire agreed to everything. Covering last-minute meetings, redoing decks at midnight, managing crises, canceling her own vacation, quietly, and every time something went wrong, she asked the same questions: Are you okay? Want me to jump in? Rest, I've got it. Until one day, because there's always one day, a casual lunch, a harmless conversation. A friend smiled and said, You work with Elena, right? I know her too. Claire nodded, tired but proud. Yeah. She's working from home after maternity leave. It's been rough, so in covering a lot. The friend paused. That pause. The kind that already smells like disaster. Are we talking about the same Elena? Silence. The phone came out, unlocked. No drama, no malice. She's been living in Italy for months. Boom. Stories, beach days, long lunches, homemade pasta, golden light at sunset. On weekdays, it was her. Same smile, same face, same name. The only difference? Claire couldn't see any of it. She was blocked. And in that moment, everything clicked. While Claire was holding the business together, Elena was holding a wine glass in Tuscany. The heat rose fast. Anger followed. Not sadness first, humiliation, because being used hurts. But realizing you were naive? That burns. Not loudly, not dramatically. It burns quietly, in the background, while your face stays calm and your voice stays polite. Claire didn't cry at that table, didn't throw accusations, didn't make a scene worthy of a viral clip. She smiled, paid the bill, and walked out like nothing had cracked open inside her. Because some people explode outward and others collapse inward, silently taking notes. That afternoon, Claire went back to the office like every other day. Same greeting, same emails, same meetings, flawless. But inside, she was replaying everything. Every thank you for covering me. Every just this week. Every I owe you. Suddenly, it all tasted different. Like something that had expired and she'd been consuming it anyway. That night, Claire did something she hadn't done in months. She poured herself a glass of wine. One glass. And logged into an old, forgotten account. And there it was. Elena, Italy. Effortless. Radiant, unbothered, stories posted carefully. Nothing reckless. Nothing obvious. Elegant deception. Claire laughed. A short laugh. The kind that isn't humor, it's disbelief dressed as sarcasm. Work from home, she whispered. Sure. The next morning, Elena sent a sweet voice note. Sorry, I can't make the call today. The baby had a rough night. Claire listened twice. Not because she doubted it. Because she needed to feel the lie settle, and she replied the same way she always did. Rest. I'll handle it, yes. Still, because Claire wasn't impulsive. She wanted to see how far the performance would go. Spoiler, my friends, very far. Weeks passed. Nothing changed except Claire. Elena stayed absent, Claire stayed efficient. The team stayed unaware, until the moment no one plans for but everyone eventually faces. Performance reviews. The director called Claire, smiled, praised her leadership. The team has performed incredibly well during this period. Elena speaks very highly of you. That's when something settled inside Claire. She didn't argue, didn't expose, didn't pull out receipts. She did something far more dangerous. She went quiet. Because when a smart woman stops explaining and starts observing, it means she finally understands the game, and she's about to change the rules. From that day on, Claire stopped anticipating needs, stopped stepping in automatically, stopped being the invisible safety net. Not cruel strategic. When Elena missed meetings, Claire replied in group chats, let's wait for Elena's input. This should be Elena's call. I'd prefer Elena to decide. Professional, polite, unimpeachable. The silence grew uncomfortable. Deadlines slipped. Clients noticed. Questions surfaced, and from Italy, Elena began to feel the weight of absence. Longer messages, tighter tone, concern disguised as affection. Are you okay? You seem distant. Did something happen? Claire read them and smiled. Because no, my friends, nothing had happened. Everything had happened. One Thursday, Elena asked for a onion. Camera on, smile practiced. You feel different, Elena said. Is everything okay? Claire inhaled slowly, looked straight at the screen, and answered with surgical calm. Everything's fine. I'm just respecting roles. Silence. Elena blinked. Once, twice. What do you mean? Well, Claire said, you're still the manager. Some decisions should go through you. Pause. Elena forced a smile. Working from home makes things tricky. From home. Right. Claire nodded. I understand. That's why we may need to align expectations with leadership. Soft, clean, devastating. The call ended quickly. A week later, Elena announced she'd be returning to the office. Soon, very soon. The team was surprised. Management too. Italy quietly closed its doors. Claire didn't celebrate, because winning doesn't always feel like relief. Sometimes it feels like clarity, and clarity changes everything, not overnight. Not with fireworks or dramatic speeches, but with small, deliberate shifts that no one notices until it's too late to undo them. When Elena finally walked back into the office, something was off. Same heels, same confident posture, same carefully curated smile. But the air didn't bend for her anymore. People were polite, professional, distant. Claire noticed it immediately. Elena was sharper now, more present, almost overcompensating. She asked questions she used to ignore, checked details she once delegated without blinking. Because once someone stops carrying you, the weight becomes very real. Weeks went by. The rhythm had changed. Claire no longer stayed late. She no longer fixed things quietly. She no longer saved anyone from consequences, and oddly enough, the world didn't collapse. During a leadership meeting, a senior partner praised Elena's return to structure. Then turned to Claire, and we hear you've been doing an exceptional job. Offers must be coming in. Elena's smile tightened, just slightly, enough to notice if you were watching closely. Claire said nothing. She just smiled back, because clarity teaches you restraint. And restraint is power. A few months later, Claire received an email. Subject line, let's talk. Another firm, bigger, cleaner, more honest about expectations. The offer was better. The title was higher. The boundaries were clear. Claire accepted without hesitation. She didn't announce it dramatically. No speeches. No revenge monologue. She handed in her notice on a Monday morning. Elena read the email twice, then called her in. Is this because of me? Elena asked. Carefully, Claire paused. And in that pause lived months of exhaustion, loyalty, and quiet awakening. It's because of me. Claire replied, nothing more, nothing less. Elena nodded, forced a smile, extended her hand. Thank you for everything. Claire shook it. You're welcome. I learned a lot, and she meant it. On her last day, the office felt lighter, not louder, not dramatic, just honest. Claire walked out without looking back. Weeks later, she heard through the grapevine that Elena was struggling. Deadlines, pressure, expectations. No one said Italy anymore. Claire didn't feel satisfaction. She felt distance, and distance is peace, because the lesson wasn't about exposure or revenge. It was about recognizing the moment you stop being a partner and start being a placeholder. So I'll ask you, my friends, how many times have you been the invisible support system? How many people shine using your energy? And the real question, how long will you keep doing it? Comment below. Tell me everything, because here in Lying Whispers, the truth doesn't shout, it waits until you're ready to hear it.